Hi folks, welcome to the Sabre Zone. This is a video on the channel that always discusses what you had to say, how you said it, and how I read it. Let's take a look at what I found, and we'll talk about this because this is an interesting topic I think we're all interested in right now. And yes, guys, I know I look terrible and I look like I've been on a 2-week bender, but I've been like sick in bed again today. My God, I'm so frustrated with this thing. I'm more angry than I am sick at this point. Okay, I'll put the clip down below. And the shout out goes to Joe Kreitz. I believe, Joe, I said your name, hopefully, buddy, I got your name right. If not, apologies, but that's how I'd say it, like Kreitz. So I'm going to say Joe Kreitz. Because, hey, Wayne, help me out here. Why am I so hell-bent on Matthew Savoie? This was before we drafted him, guys. And for the record, guys, I did go through that video today, and I looked, and I believe it was 6 people called, or no, 5. 5 people called out to get Matthew Savoie on the team. There was 5 of you, you know, so I didn't want to like, there's no winner or nothing, but 5 of you did call it. Okay, so why am I so hell-bent on Matthew Savoie? His size screams non-NHL size, but I can't help but see him as an absolute 30 to 40 goal scorer. I can't seem to think of anyone else. Bit on your first 2 picks, my goodness, if we could get lucky, I also think we would be very happy. Yes, Joe, you called that one right. You're one of the guys that called it. You were the first one, actually, when I went looking at all the notes that in the order. So I took your note, and you know what? Then you obviously seen something that I didn't, Joe, because I was hell-bent on getting Connor Geekie, is who I was, you know, big centerman and everything. But you know what? We got, I believe maybe what stands out in your mind, and it might sound a little crazy, I think maybe he reminds you of Danny Briere. Just his look about him, when you see the clips of how he buzzes around, and he has that knack for goal scoring as well. Seems to be the type of guy that we won't know what we have till we get him in a playoff game, right? That's the thing. This is what I think of, guys, when we draft players like this. I try to envision these guys, what would they do in a game 7? Would this guy just dog the whole game and nothing happen, or will this guy light it up in overtime? There's no way to know till we put skates on these guys, develop these kids, bring them into our camp, bring them into our whole structure of what we call the Buffalo Sabres now, not the team a few years back, this team right now, and see what we have, right? Because it's as time unfolds with some of these kids, it is going to be interesting to see. Maybe what you've seen compared to what I've seen. I'll see how you worded that exactly again. He goes, why am I so hell-bent on Matthew Savoie? His size screams non-NHL size. It does. Yes, it does. It does, but that doesn't really matter if you got a stud. Look at Johnny Gaudreau. You know what I mean? If you're drafting in the first round and you're drafting smaller guys in the first round, believe it or not, I can live with that. I can. It's when you're drafting them later on when you should be drafting size and muscle and things like this, I believe, you know. But yeah, I can see him as an absolute 30 to 40 goal scorer. Well, once you got a guy that gets 30 goals, you got a guy. You know, you got a stud on your team. Once you got that, I don't think any of us would have thought Tage was going to get 30 this year. Really, I think a lot of us could have imagined Skinner. That was possible. You know, I even thought to a degree that I thought Middlestat. I thought Middlestat would have a really good year this year. So I was off with that call, you know. Dahlin came through like we expected. I think most of us expected him to like get it up a notch this year. That was good. But when this kid comes in, how does he impress? That's what I'd like to know. How much does he impress the scouts? How much does he come in and say, my goodness, this guy might be in the lineup in 2 years' time, not in 3 or 4. This guy might be here in 2. There's no way to know, right? It's not until they come to the camp and they play and they compete and they try to fit in, they try not to be a distraction and all that crap and all that stuff, you know, and just come here and be proud to be a Sabre and throw on the jersey and say, my God, I want to make this team. I want to make this team. And if we can get a kid like that, the first round's a victory for us. You know, if we get a 30-goal score out of this draft, my goodness. I mean, we did our homework properly, you know. I think the Sabres if I was to guess, I think the Sabres might be surprised that Savoie landed in the 9th slot. I kind of thought he was going to go 7th around, right? I think that's where I had picked him. I know I picked him in front of Geeky. I can't remember. I'd have to look back at it because I looked at the numbers and the videos, and I tried to be, you know, fair about it too. I think we got a good one here. I do. So I'm glad you're happy, Joe. I mean, you must be happy. You got your guy. There you go. You're hell-bent on getting him. He's a Sabre. Now you got to buy his jersey. There. You got to buy his jersey now. You know? If we could get lucky, I also think we would be very happy. I think we did in 28, getting Kulich at 28. I think when you look at where some of these guys were listed and everything, I think we kind of got lucky at 20. You know what? There was some other guys also still around in this draft that it was crazy. It was nuts. You guys seen it. I mean, come on. You know, Shane Wright went number 4. I had him, I honestly, on the day of the draft, I had him number 3, guys. I honestly did. I had Cooley, and then I had Slav 2nd, and I had Shane 3rd. I mean, it's just kind of where I had them pegged, you know, going in. But then, you know, Jersey were hell-bent on getting the defenseman. So this is another thing we have to look at. It's something we should really consider, you know, like maybe eventually if we ever get 3 first-rounders again, is maybe draft somebody that you need the position, maybe, but I don't think I'll ever go for that idea. I really don't. I always say, you know, if you believe this is the best player left, doesn't matter if you have 10 of them, get another one, you know, because you can always trade them off as pieces eventually anyway, you know. So yes, Joe, good topic, good call, good call. I should have took the names of all you guys that called it because I was like, wow, there was 5. I think it was 5. I'm sure it was 5. I counted, but guys, my head's all bad again. There was, I believe, there was 5 guys that called Savoie becoming a Buffalo Sabre. I wasn't one of them. I didn't get anybody right. I didn't think I got anybody even close to being right. I'd have to look at that, you know, and see how far I was off with some of my picks. My goodness, I was way off. But I mean, I don't pretend to know what goes on with the draft, guys. I just don't. You know, the draft is it's one of those things. I leave it to the pros, you know, and you know, for any of us to think that we know what these kids are going to be, we're just trying to, you know, pump our own tires. There's no way to know, really. There is no way to know. But it's a good feel. And for me, it's the good feel about this, and I'm going to close on this, guys, is that he reminds me of Danny Briere. Even his look about him, you know? It's just kind of how I envisioned Danny Briere maybe. But if you look at Danny Briere's numbers before he came into the NHL, my goodness, guys, go look at Danny Briere at his junior numbers. If you haven't before, my goodness. You knew the guy was a winner right there. Obvious. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to get down to, I got one more video coming your way. I got some trades coming your way. See you in that one, guys.